everybody. This is Lance Russell and Dave Brown right along ringside, and we're ready to go. Another big championship wrestling.
Oh, I tell you, looking forward to today. We are going to have our first look at Steve Kern today. Steve will be here on Championship Wrestling today, and he will be going against one of the Nightmares. The Nightmare will not be alone, even though he's wrestling as a single, because Jimmy Hart will be in his corner.
You will see some kind of wrestler in this guy.
And Steve Kern, yes, indeed. Tim Leonard, then, is going to be going against Chick Donovan, the Golden Boy, which should be a fine single match. And Kevin Sullivan has a title defense scheduled today of his TV title.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
we're going to be finding out a little bit about that. In addition to that, we will be meeting the new U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion. Looking forward to that. In addition to that, also, Dave, we have got some slam-bang action of 8-man brawl coming up. All of it today on Championship Wrestling. Better get at it. We've got plenty to do, and we'll be back in just a moment.
At the banquet table smorgasbord, our main ingredient is you. And that's why we constantly strive for excellence in all we prepare. And we prepare a lot. Following your favorite meal, take a delicious trip to our dessert bar. And let your imagination run wild as you create your own flavorful fantasy. It's all you care to eat at one low price. The banquet table smorgasbord.
Check the yellow pages under restaurant.
Sailing a tall call. Oh, hey, we are right here. By golly, I've been telling the folks all week long, and a little earlier, Dave and I were telling them we're going to meet the new U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion. And by golly, I couldn't be more delighted to tell the people that Bill Superstar Dundee defeated Stan Lane, won that U.S. Junior Heavyweight title, and by golly, Bill, I'll tell you, congratulations. What a super win and a really rugged bout.
Well, thank you, Lance. I'd just like to thank all the people out there that got behind me when I needed them, and I just brought it up from the floor, and I won. But then a lot of guys said to me, Bill, you never said a word before you got...
I didn't even know you were in contention. You had some great classic bouts with Nick Bockwinkel, with Billy Robinson and all. I didn't know you were in contention on the junior heavyweight.
Well, Lance, the reason I never said nothing about it was... Let me explain it this way to you. When Cassius Clay or Muhammad Ali, or whatever you want to call him, was in his prime and he was doing his thing, he was a heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you was a fighter and you went out and you said you was going to fight Sugar Ray Leonard and you wasn't going to fight Muhammad Ali, nobody would say, so what, you're going to fight Sugar Ray Leonard? Everything was heavyweight. Everything was heavyweight. And people just seem to think if you're an athlete, you have got to be a heavyweight. Well, for the guys at my size, junior heavyweight, that belt is the top dog, and I'm just glad that I won it. And I'll put it on the line for anybody that wants it. All they got to do is just call Eddie Martin, and I'll be sure to have you defend it anywhere they want.
Well, my golly, I'll tell you one thing. You've had a lot of great honors, and we've seen you in a lot of great bouts, but you had to go way deep down when Stan Lane deliberately butted you and split you right between the eyebrows and right in there. I thought that was the end of it right there, but you brought it all back.
Well, I did too, Lance, and he kind of threw me. He said he was going out there to wrestle, and I went out there to wrestle. He headbutted me, but I ended up the winner, and that's all that counts. Stanley Lane, if you want another shot, just get in contact with whoever it takes, and you can have the first crack at it, brother.
Never avoided anybody, and by golly, great congratulations again. The superstar. And let me tell you, boy, that is some kind of honor. When Billy beat Stan Lane, he was the underdog going in there, although I think that most of us know him very, very well. Stanley Lane had no idea how tough this guy was. It was a great win. We want to share it with you. Let's take a look at some of the action that took place in that U.S. Junior Heavyweight bout. He's bleeding from the nose, and from right in between the eyebrows, there's another headbutt, Dundee. Now laying down. Stan Lane hit the deck himself, and Dundee, the worst for the wear of it, though. Lane picked him up. Backbreaker drops Dundee down. Crowd hollering for Billy to get going. He drops the foot over the rope and Lane hot. Referee's telling him he had his foot on the rope. Bill getting ready to swing at Lane, but he lost his balance and fell right over backward. Lane has been born and on him about 6 minutes now. disqualification. Dundee still holding on. And the referee explaining that Lane is being disqualified. Billy can't win the belt. Lane will keep the belt, and the disqualification is going to go to Stan Lane at 13:39. Dundee pointing to his eye and telling the referee something on it. Oh, Martin says restart. I don't know about this one. Lane comes right back at Dundee. Dundee had it won, but it was on a disqualification, which meant Lane would have kept it. Look at Lane pour in, left and right to that midsection. He rattles Dundee in a corner, and the junior heavyweight champ may make Billy wish he'd have never said restart it. I don't know really what he did say. Dundee! What an amazing turn! 14 minutes and 18 seconds. Stan Lane on a flying press by Dundee defeated the new U.S. Junior Heavyweight champ, Bill Dundee. Boy, I'll tell you, that was something in there. And, of course, the contention was that the referee should have disqualified, and that would have been it. That's the contention by Stanley Lane. However, he did restart because the act was deliberate. And so we have Kevin Sullivan, the TV champion, out here.
Lance, before we get into about my TV title match, I'd like to say this. You know, I'm a very fair person, as you and the people know this. I want to be the first one, James Hart and myself, the first family, want to do one thing. I want to congratulate Bill Dundee for winning that belt because, first of all, to me, being a junior heavyweight, you know, the only difference between a junior heavyweight and a heavyweight is I fluctuate right on that line. Over 230 you're heavyweight, under 230 you're junior heavyweight. Well, I'm about go anywhere from 222 to 228. Sometimes even as high as 230. But once you get over that 230-pound mark as an athlete, you're carrying a lot of excess flesh, a lot of excess baggage that holds you down. And Dundee wrestled the cream of the crop, Stan Lane. And to tell you the truth, I knew Dundee was tough, but I didn't think he beat Stan Lane. So, Bill Dundee, I got to say this to you. My hat off to you. It was a terrific match. And the only other thing I have to say is thank you very much for bringing the title into this area so I don't have to go out of the country or to San Francisco or to Florida to beat you for the title because I am your master, Dundee, because I am everybody's master here. So I will take that belt along with the TV belt, along with the Southern belt, along with the world belt, and along with the tag belts and put them in my trophy case because I am the main man here. And Dundee, you know it. Stan Lane knows it. Jerry Lawler knows it. Everybody here knows it, especially you.
Okay, all right. Enough about that. I want to get down to your TV title bout. Last week you issued a challenge to Jerry Lawler. Unfortunately, Jerry is booked with other commitments. He's in Florida. He is not going to be able to be here today. And that means, obviously, he cannot wrestle you for the TV championship.
You know, I want to put an end to this. You know, I've gone out here week after week, giving a young guy a chance that he'll never have, probably, ever again. You know, I've beaten them all. You know, it doesn't matter to me, but I've decided I've given young guys a chance. I asked for Jerry Lawler because one thing, you know, I'm a very smart person, as you know that, Lance. Everybody out here, maybe all these ignorant rednecks can't understand this, but Jerry Lawler is a very important thing to me because he is supposedly the #1 man in this area. He is the imposter. I am the #1 man in this area. Jerry Lawler happens to be one of the top-ranking men in the country. What I would have done today was I was going to embarrass and humiliate Jerry Lawler right here on TV by beating him in the middle of the ring. So he would have had to give me a shot at something. But I'm not going to say that he cowered out because there are commitments in different places. But it just so happened I was ready to wrestle Lawler and he didn't show up. So it's my loss. But I'm going to make it up. And I'll wrestle somebody on that card today.
Well, fine. I know that we've got Dutch Mantel here. The Dream is here. Without being derogatory about him, I've got your opponent that you will pick, I am sure, Tim Leonard.
Wait a minute. I beat that little punk last week. I knocked him around. It won't be a Tim Leonard, believe me. It won't be a Tim Leonard. I will choose my opponent before I wrestle. And it won't be a Tim Leonard.
And that's the way you'll leave it. You're going to make the choice on it, and we will have a TV championship as Kevin Sullivan is the one who will be making the choice on it. We will be back with more action for you coming up in just a moment. Channel 3, Championship Wrestling, back into action right here in just a moment. Hey, you folks around Harrodsburg, Kentucky, Thursday, June the 25th, high school football field. It'll be moved inside in the event of rain. Boy, what a sensational night of action that is going to be, sponsored by the track team there at Harrodsburg. That's Thursday, June 25th. Okay, next Tuesday night, this is right upon us, my friend. You remember, do you remember that big brawl, a couple of them, right there in the Louisville Gardens? Well, next Tuesday night, 8-man tag match, no time limit, no disqualification. Sullivan, Ferris, the Nightmares, and Hart, the first family of professional wrestling, as they keep reminding me, against the King, the Dutchman, the Dream Machine, and the fourth man, thanks to the injury you guys laid on Dundee, will be Steve Kern, but they're not losing anything. You know how tough Kern is.
Well, let me tell you this. I have to agree with you one thing. Steve Kern is tough, but so wasn't Bill Dundee, and he's walking around wearing a funny collar around his neck. So, Kern, you're not going to be doing anything much better than walking around with a collar around your neck, because when we get through with you, you're going to be the same height as Dundee, because we're going to drive you into the ground. This is the first family of professional wrestling, and we're going to make the so-called, you call him the King, we call him the Jester, we call the other guy the Fat Dream Machine, the other guy's a shell-shocked idiot, and Kern doesn't know what trouble he's getting into. Look at this. This is the first family of wrestling. And Steve Kern, you're not going to come out of there any better than Dundee did. Because whether the people want to like it or not, you're going to learn respect and know what class is.
Well, I know this, that Jerry Lawler will be looking for you and Mr. Hart.
Jerry Lawler better be looking to hide somewhere, because he's going to get hurt, too. Dutch Mantel's going to get hurt. Dream Machine's going to get hurt. Kern's going to get hurt. Everybody's getting hurt except the first family Tuesday night.
Oh, well, we'll see. That brawl starts all over again. No time, no disqualification. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a real pleasure, too, because we have heard a lot about him. Gordon Soley, whose opinion I respect on professional wrestling as much as anybody, has told me everything that I've heard about this guy is absolutely true. Steve Kern was the youngest professional wrestler ever to be voted the Rookie of the Year. Additionally, in the incredible time of 9 months, he reached the top 10 ranking of heavyweights in the country. And we want to welcome you again here to Championship Wrestling. Steve, can you give us a little of your background? I know you're from Tampa, Florida.
Well, first of all, Lance, let me make it clear to the people that are watching that I'm not a very great speaker. I might get confused in my words. I'm nervous when I get on television, but I feel like that what I do in the ring answers for everything I got to say. But as for my background, I've been a professional wrestler a while now. And I started out in Florida, and I worked up through the ranks, like you said. I guess I was pretty lucky. I had a lot of good coaches and a lot of people helping me out and giving me advice, and I watched a lot of the matches. And I'm really looking forward to being in this area and probably doing the best I can to entertain the fans, not only in the ring, but be able to stand out and talk with them and meet a lot of new people.
Well, we're delighted to have you here. What brought you to this particular area, Steve?
Well, as everybody knows that watches this television and goes to the matches in this area, they know there's a lot of title defenses and a lot of opportunities for men to move up and step up ladders and become towards that top, towards that world championship. And as every professional wrestler like myself, the ultimate goal is to be the world champion, first of all, in their mind. But it takes a lot of climbing a ladder to get to that world title, and I'm looking forward to possibly getting some title shots here and hopefully coming up with a belt and an opportunity to wrestle for the world title.
Yeah, well, golly, I'll tell you, those are admirable things, and you're well on the way, being ranked in the top 10 right now, and that's something. We're going to be interested in seeing you in action today.
Well, I appreciate it. There's also another reason I've come to this area, And for the people that don't know, I was just a wrestler for a short time, and I was wrestling a man at one time that I thought was going to give me a scientific wrestling match. I wasn't going to have to worry about any rule breaking or shortcutting, and it turned out that halfway through the match, this was going to be my opportunity to wrestle for the World Championship. The man double-crossed me. I was coming through the ropes. He ended up injuring me and putting me out of professional wrestling and putting me in the hospital. And I've never carried a vendetta for anybody. I've never had a grudge. I've always been taught to try to understand the way people feel when they're competing as competition goes on, because everybody's trying to win one way or another. But I don't feel like that this was an act of competition. I feel like this was an act of violence. The man was trying to injure me deliberately and trying to eliminate the competition. The man's name is Kevin Sullivan. I've come to this area, and I won't rest until I even the score with Kevin Sullivan and possibly put him in the hospital or put him out of professional wrestling.
Well, Steve, we can understand your feeling about Kevin. Sometimes we have that. Although he did have some nice things to say about Dundee, and he has given some young wrestlers a shot at his TV championship, and so I don't know about Sullivan, but...
Well, excuse me, but let me make this one thing clear, because Kevin Sullivan has a deceiving way of coming on television. He is a very good speaker. He does compliment people on their championships and on their ability, but when it comes right down to it, I've seen the man all over the country. I've seen him build people up to highest admiration, but then just pull the carpet right out from under him and double-cross them, backslide in on them, and just do something deliberately to try to injure them, but build their confidence that he is a fine wrestler. I believe Kevin Sullivan has all the ability in the world, but as for honesty, I believe he's lacking quite a bit, and I'm here to show the people of this area just what that man is made of.
Steve, we're going to be looking forward to seeing you a little bit later in action in the ring here, and again, we want to welcome you to the area, and by golly, I'm looking forward to seeing if all the things that Gordon Soley told me about you is true. I know that it must be if he said them.
Well, he's a really nice man. That's an awful lot of nice comments. I sure hope I can live up to them while I'm here, and hope I can live up to all the fans' expectations. I'm really looking forward to being in this area for quite a while, because I've come here to make this my home.
Okay, Steve, thanks for being out here with us. We'll see you a little bit later out here. Steve Kern, ladies and gentlemen, and you will see him in action a little bit later for the first time on Championship Wrestling. We have had so many requests. There have been two kind. The people who saw the 8-man tag match that took place, it didn't start out that way. It ended up in a big battle like that in Louisville Gardens in Louisville, Kentucky. Said, we got to see it again. For those who didn't see it, we've had people said, man, you should have seen that brawl they had in Louisville. Let's take a look at it. Officially, it's all over with. That didn't have a thing to do with the action. As Sullivan, Barrett, Hart, all really punishing Dundee in the green machine. Billy up, but he's nailed from behind, caught in the front with that stick. And Sullivan just shillelaghing with a Hart stick, and now Hart has it working on the Dream. Dream's fast torn. Dundee's face is torn. The referee had asked for some help, and here comes Jerry the King. He nails Hart. House Barrett and Sullivan. Now Lawler's got the stick. Blazes on Barrett. Hounding Wayne Barrett. Oh, here comes the Nightmare. Both of them jump Lawler. They're beating on Lawler in the corner, and Sullivan gets the stick. Now it's the Nightmare, Sullivan, Ferris, and Hart, with Dundee, the Dream, and Lawler. Barrett beating away on him. Look at Hart pound Lawler with that walking stick. The Nightmare holding Lawler down. Hart nails Dundee with the stick. What a brawl. The referee powerless to stop anything. Too much of it happening. Hart with a handful of powder throws it to Dream's face. Now it's Dundee's eyes. Barrett Jerry the King. And they are really working Lawler over in the corner there. Here comes Dutch Mantell. The Dutchman. Free-swinging Texan going after him. He really blasted Barrett. Then Sullivan. Lawler is back up. What a mess. Dundee is back up. Look at this scene in the Louisville Garden. They're battling on the floor. Mantell after Sullivan. The Nightmare, the Dream, Jurian. Lawler after Hart. All the way in the back. Pounding away. The Dream beating on the Nightmare. There's Hart. Sullivan and Mantell. What a wild brawl. There goes the barricade. Sullivan missed Mantell with a sack of sand. They are battling everywhere. Lawler chasing the Nightmare all the way up in the bleachers. And there goes Lawler. The Nightmare caught him, and he's bouncing down the steps. The King back on his feet once again. Head over heels, and here comes Barrett. Up the stairs, but back on the floor. Lawler body slams the Nightmare on the concrete. Sullivan and the Dream. Dundee comes up after Sullivan. Right back at the dressing room door. The Dream not quitting. He's still going after him. And Dundee and Mantell. What a brawl. Well, they wanted to see the brawl, and there it was. Back in a minute. Okay, we're going to be ready to go here in just a moment. First, the introductions, A.B.
A one-fall, 15-minute time limit match. Introducing parts unknown, 212 pounds, with his manager Jimmy Hart on the left of the screen, the Nightmare, number 1. Going against him from Tampa, Florida, 225 pounds, Steve Kearns. One fall, 15-minute time limit. Referee, Jerry Calhoun.
All right, the referee is about ready to go, Davey, and we are almost set and ready. Jimmy Hart, a final hug and a kiss to the Nightmare number 1. And he is going to need something. You'll see Steve Kearns just now going into action. Bell time.
Steve Kearns, Nightmare number 1. Oh, Kearns after him. Into the rope. Referee Jerry Calhoun not thrilled about that. He wants him back away from the rope. Nightmare joins the referee's protest after the break had occurred. Kearns, wow. Hooks that arm, and down goes Nightmare number 1. Nightmare trying to take down of his own. Doesn't work. Balance. Boy, this Kearns got it all.
That's nice.
Kearns.
Tempo, Dave.
Yeah, and Kearns maintaining control throughout all of that. Kearns back up on his feet. They're over in the rope. And again, referee Jerry Calhoun wants him off the rope. Nightmare goes after Kern. Back to the ropes again. Clean break call for the referee. Nightmare fired with the right hand. Kern was set and ready. He popped him right back. Kern round behind the Nightmare. Takes him down, shoulders down. Referee started the count. Got a 1 count. Stops at that point. Nightmare partially under that bottom rope. Steve Kern, Tampa, Florida. Down goes the Nightmare. Nightmare trying to convert to a head scissors. Kern still got him.
Nightmare gave up on that head scissors because it just didn't do anything but squeeze him into a ball.
That's right.
Kern would let go.
Boy, this Kern is tenacious. He's hanging on. Nightmare shakes him loose, but Kern comes off the rope, leaps over, set, and a Nightmare finds himself back on the mat again. Count of 2, almost a 3 count. Nightmare able to get that right shoulder up just before the referee got the 3 count in.
Nightmare was messing him in the face in there, and Kern just tightened up on that side headlock, man, and that took care of that.
Boy, Jimmy Hart a little upset over the situation. We're at 2 minutes, 45 seconds of action in this one. Whoa, high in the air. And Steve Kern right there picks up the Nightmare. Little spin. Drives him down across the knee. Cover. Count is 2. And that's a 2 count. The Nightmare breaks it. Jimmy Hart on his feet, wandering around the ringside now. Trying to cheer on the Nightmare. Nightmare number 1. He's firing that right hand. Steve Kern answering with the same thing. Referee battling to keep him off the rope. He stepped in between them that time. Perhaps preventing the Nightmare from unloading with that right hand as he had done before on a break. We're coming up on the 4-minute mark. Over in the ropes and again. Referee Jerry Calhoun steps between them, but Jimmy Hart with that stick nails Steve Kern in the back. Grabs Hart for the head. Hart! He's got him in the ring. Stop match. Referee has stopped it.
He's disqualifying Kern, I think, for pulling Hart in there. Now, there's the other Nightmare.
Yeah, look out. Here comes Wayne Ferris. Nightmares and Ferris on Steve Kern.
4 of them beating and pounding Kern up there.
Hart getting in a few licks himself. Here comes the superstar, the Dream Machine. There goes Hart. Hart, one Nightmare. Now Ferris out of the ring. Here comes the other Nightmare. Steve Kern threw the last one out. Stop match. All right, not a disqualification.
Okay.
The referee's ruling it's a stop match. A stop match. 4 minutes, 13 seconds. The time.
Wow. Man, oh, man. Blistering action, and our first look at Steve Kern on Championship Wrestling verifies everything we heard about him, man. Does he go? What a battle. It ended up with 4 of them pounding away, and thank goodness Superstar and the Dream came busting in there and gave a little aid on it. So, we got more action. We're going to be back to it in a moment. Back into action here in just a moment. Hey, a little while ago, I gave you just one bout that's going to be in the Louisville Gardens, and I guess I could tell you, and you would know for a living fact, that that one bout will be worth the price of admission alone. But that's not the only one. We got plenty of great bouts next Tuesday in the Gardens. Sonny King takes on Jim Dalton. Big Plowboy Frazier will be going against Tojo Yamamoto. Tag match. It'll have Coco Ware and Tim Leonard going against Mr. Onita and Masafuchi with Tojo at ringside. Then Golden Boy Chick Donovan is going to be facing young Roy Rogers, Jerry the King Lawler, Dutch Mantell, the Dream Machine, Steve Kern going against Kevin Sullivan, Wayne Ferris, and the Nightmares with Jimmy Hart supposedly at ringside. We'll just have to see what happens on Tuesday night. I don't have to tell you about the kind of grudge, animosity, and hatred built up for that match, my friend. You know the action in the Gardens before. You be there Tuesday night. Chick Donovan, the Golden Boy, was involved in a bout with Roy Rogers, and Wayne Ferris interjected himself with that. We're going to get Golden Boy out here right now as he's going to be in action. Chick Donovan, who had the intervention from Wayne Ferris, and I do want to mention this, that Ferris was fined $1,000 for that intervention in your bout, Chick.
That's good and fine, Mr. Russell, but he should have been fined $5,000. I told the people out here last week I did not want anyone, regardless whoever, to interfere any kind of way in my match. I had that punk Roy Rogers beat to the point I was fixing to put that figure four on him and comminute his knee. And when I turned around, I bumped into none other than Wayne Ferris. Regardless who it is, no one will interfere, come around the ring, or bother me while I beat these punks around here. Is that completely understood to anyone and everyone?
I think you made your intentions pretty clear in there. Ferris, as we said, will fine $1,000, and it's getting to be commonplace with him, and he, regardless of his comments, can't stand much more of that. You've got a bout today with Tim Leonard.
The thing that irrates me the most, my record was unblemished, Mr. Russell, and a DQ stands out to me like a sore thumb. There's just one other thing I want to say. Sometimes I can be sassy, and then I can get nasty. Beat me if you can.
Chick Donovan, the Golden Boy, and he's ready to go with a bout with Tim Leonard. Davey, we're all set, and let's get ready for it.
It's going to be a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match coming up here, and Chick Donovan climbs into the ring. His opponents from Jonesboro, Arkansas, 212 pounds, Tim Leonard, and going against him from Hollywood, California, 228 pounds, the Golden Boy, Chick Donovan. One-fall, 15-minute time limit. Jerry Calhoun is the referee.
Bell time and off and running. Chick Donovan, Tim Leonard, and Donovan starts right off with a big rush and on the ropes. Tim Leonard, boy, Tim is getting his feet wet well with some of the competition. Kevin Sullivan he had. Now he's in there with the Golden Boy. And a nice go behind and takedown by Donovan, but he's underneath the ropes is Leonard, and that'll call for a break. Donovan, big, strong guy, tremendous body on him. Hooks that arm, that wrist in there, bends it back up. Looked like he was going into a hammer. Now he takes it over and down into a head scissors as he hangs on to Tim Leonard. Referee Jerry Calhoun, and Donovan getting real nasty about it, as a matter of fact. He is really putting the pressure on Tim Leonard with that head scissors in there. He got all steamed up about interference. Now Leonard is back up, and he kind of got tired of that treatment.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
You got that right.
Boy, Tim Leonard, as you said, he's really been in some battles the last few weeks around the territory here. And against a Chick Donovan who's still a little bit steamed over that interference in a match earlier in the week from outside. So he's taking it out on Leonard, looks like, with that head scissors.
Tim's not backing up. But Chick Donovan's taking it to him. That's not always the thing. Guy that's heavier, big muscled upper body. He's really pouring the heat on Tim Leonard and turns it over now. The Golden Boy, Chick Donovan on the right, Tim Leonard on the left. Referee Jerry Calhoun. We're a couple of minutes into the bout. Bars that arm, catches a wrist lock with it too as he goes up with a bar, but they're both back into the ropes, and that should call for a break. Donovan swings Leonard around into the rope and blasts him on the rope. The referee saying, come on, back it up. Forearm, and Leonard a little wobbly in there after that series of forearms, trying to fight his way back. They're swinging away at each other. Donovan takes him into the rope. Big elbow. And that's a big one to hit with, too.
Yeah, he caught it right on the side of the jaw.
He didn't get it. Only a 2 count in there, and so Tim Leonard is still alive with Chick Donovan.
2 minutes, 35 seconds gone in this one.
Big suplex. Down he goes. Now a count of 1, 2, and Donovan. 2 efforts in there. He thought he had the 3 count, but he wasn't able to get it. And Tim Leonard still trying to battle his way back, but he's taken a lot of punishment from the Golden Boy. On the rope. Chick Donovan, who, by the way, his father, or his grandfather, this is kind of a second generation, you might say, of professional battlers. His grandfather was the lightweight champion of the world at one time.
Yes.
Chick Donovan, that's right.
Yeah, he was named for his grandfather. That was his grandfather's nickname.
Right.
Yeah.
Chick Donovan whips him across as he shovels him into the ropes. The arms up double, and Leonard goes down on the mat. Tim still trying to battle him, but Donovan, with no question about it, has the upper hand in here. Leonard does come back with a good right hand, uses a forearm, drops to one knee. Donovan hooks him up with that side headlock, but Leonard drives him into the ropes and shakes him off. Big shoulder puts Tim down on the mat. Donovan coming after him, goes over the top. Right back, a reversal. Down goes Leonard as Chick moves him in, picks him up. He's got him in a fireman's carry. He goes into the airplane spin, takes him around, dumps Leonard. Oh, it looks like he's going for that figure 4. Hooks it down, and he's got it, boy. That is a killer. That's probably going to be a submission right there. Yep, that's exactly what we've got. And Leonard, who even the best of them have a difficult time getting out of it. A fellow with no more experience than Tim does, it's almost virtually impossible to take someone who has powerful legs and knows how to put that figure 4 on and be able to get a break out of it. So it was difficult for Leonard, and he does submit on that one, Davey.
Indeed. So the Golden Boy, Chick Donovan, wins it. 4 minutes, 24 seconds the time.
4:24. We got more action, a TV championship match. It'll be coming up right after we take time out for this.
All right, here we are, still waiting for a word from Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to give us a commitment on the fact. Here he is right now. We still haven't had your decision in terms of the TV title match out here.
Lance, you're going to have my decision right now. You know, let me tell you something. I've been fair. I've been honest. I'm probably the most misunderstood man in professional wrestling today. I heard Steve Keirn come out here and cry and all this, what I did to him. Well, let me tell you something. Steve Keirn and I were very close at one time. In fact, I taught him everything he ever knew. And you know what the boy did? You know, you gave one side that I attacked him. Well, it was the other way around. He attacked me. He tried to put me out of wrestling, but it didn't work because I've always been one notch above Keirn, and that's what gets to him. He has an ego that can't fill this room because he knows that I am his master. So what I'm going to do today is right now I'm going to nip this in the bud. It looks like everybody wants me. Steve Keirn, you bring yourself out here, and I'm going to whip you like I've always whipped you right now.
Wait a minute.
Bring him up.
He's already had a tough match. That's a big deal. He came out there, and he already had a tough match. 4 guys jumped him at one point in there, and you want it. Why don't you pick somebody that hadn't wrestled, like The Dream or Dundee or somebody?
Well, let me tell you this. Forget those guys. The other guy's been out here, Keirn, running his mouth. He's supposed to be such... You're the one that said he was so great. You're the one that said
he's already had a match out here today.
You're the one that said he's been such a great athlete.
He's had a match already today. Now, it's not fair to get him when he... Hey, now, come on now. Let's not have it.
Listen to me.
See?
Get in the ring. Get in the ring.
You've already had it.
Look at him. He's kicking right now. He's kicking. Look at the big
This
cow.
is it. Steve Kern climbs in. It didn't slow him down, apparently. I think it may be a mistake that TV title will be at stake. Kevin Sullivan has issued the challenge. Kern accepted it. Bell time, and here we go.
All right. The TV title on the line. Now, look out. Here comes Dutch Mantell. Dutch, all right. Sure, have a seat.
Dutch Mantell, who's been trying to get in the spot that Steve Kern is in for some time.
Well, Sullivan don't want to face me, but he wants to take on Steve Kearns, and boy, did he make a mistake.
Well,
every time, like I said, this Kevin Sullivan's on this TV this style, I'm going to be out here because I'm going to put the pressure on. But I don't think he can beat Kearns.
Well, of course, we weren't too keen about it because Kearns had already had one match today, and it was a tough match. Boy, he is slapping away at Sullivan.
If Kevin Sullivan worked his arms as much as his mouth, he'd have 92-inch arms, is what I got to say. He's got the biggest mouth. I can't stand him and I hate him, but he made a bad mistake climbing the ring with Steve Kern. I've known Kern a long time, and he's never backed down from anybody, and he's not backing down from Kevin Sullivan right now. And it doesn't look to me that Sullivan is this guy's master. It looks like Steve Kern has it well under control. How's your TV champion faring there, Jimmy Hart? Huh?
Dutch Mantell, our guest commentator out here today, as he, well, I think most of you know, was the former TV champ. Kevin Sullivan got a win over him, got the championship. He has refused to give Mantell a return bout since that time.
And this Kern is really pounding at Sullivan.
Oh-ho!
Well, there's your champion right there. There's your champion out hugging his manager. And I stand by my earlier statement, he is a wife beater. And I'll say anything I can to get the pressure up on him so he'll get in the ring with me one-on-one.
Boy, this Kern, he may be caught between Dutch Mantell and Steve Kern. Just sit down, Jimmy, and quit all that conversation.
You see, Sullivan's went all across the country saying guys are great wrestlers and all this, and then when he gets an opportunity, Pearl Harbors them, and he's made enemies all across the country. This man right now, I'd have to say, is one of the most hated men in the profession.
Steve Kern was quick to accept the challenge. I think Sullivan actually said, I'll take Steve Kern because he figured he would be weakened after that tough bout that he had where it ultimately ended up with 4 guys jumping on him.
Now, Sullivan's always thinking how to get the advantage on somebody, so he wants to take Steve because Steve's already had an earlier match. And he thinks that Steve may be a little winded. But Steve is in tremendous shape, and see, he's taking it to Sullivan right now. He is riding. You remember a couple of weeks ago when Sullivan had Hutchins on TV and Sullivan didn't give him room to breathe? Now Sullivan's finding himself in the same position. And Sullivan will take any shortcut to get the drop on somebody. Hardy, you don't shut up.
Kevin Sullivan hammered into the corner by Steve Kern. The championship is at stake.
The only thing I wish that this was me in the ring instead of Steve Kern, but I'm going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy this because anytime anybody gets that Sullivan down and pounds him like Kern's pounding him now, it makes my day. It makes me feel good.
Well, we saw Steve earlier, and he was not one to bend the rules, but I'll tell you...
How you doing, Sullivan?
Today, with Kevin Sullivan, his hatred must be pretty deep. Because he's letting it all hang out with Sullivan.
Now, this was a few years ago this happened. They were close friends. I think they were tag team partners at one time, and then that Sullivan, he turned on Steve, hurt him, and put him in the hospital. And Steve, he doesn't forget, and he's remembering it, and he's taking out all his frustration right now on Kevin Sullivan. He's doing a pretty good job. There's a sweeper.
Steve Kerr with a sweeper on Kevin Sullivan. Sullivan picked him up and ran him straight into that turnbuckle. Wow. Kevin Sullivan taking the attack to Steve Kern. Whip. Sullivan zeroes in with that right hand. The referee warns him about the wrist. Kicked right back over his chair, and he really was flattened by Kern Kern just reached outside and kicked him. Sullivan pounding away on Steve Kern.
See, this is one beyond a wrestling match now. This is a full-fledged brawl in there.
Yeah,
this is the way I like it, too.
Kern only a 1 count, but his head, he's a little wobbly right now. Firing back at Kevin Sullivan. Sullivan goes around behind, takes him up. Slams him down. Look at him battle back.
Kern coming back a little bit. He found his second win now.
Sullivan really clommed him one with that right hand, but Kern still battling from the floor. He kicked Sullivan loose. Kevin Sullivan. Down. Reverse neck breaker. Kern.
Hey, Kern might win this thing.
Going after him.
Well, regardless of whether Steve wins or not, I still want Kevin Sullivan. TV pal or not.
Expiration of time. That's going to be it. It goes that way sometimes, Dutch, as Steve Kern. Come on. Comes out of that corner, and Sullivan.
Get on him,
Kern
Steve,
still
get on
going
him.
at it. It's over.
Pound him. What is this?
Roy Rogers.
Hey,
Pat
let him
Sullivan,
go.
and
Let
Eddie
Kern
Marlin.
beat his
No,
brains out.
No. The match is over with, Dutch. They can settle their differences some other time.
Let him go. Let him go.
Roy Rogers trying to pull Kern back, and they get him off. The referee gets hit. Pat Hutchinson, Roy Rogers, Eddie Marlin climbs in the ring. Sullivan pushes him down. This is getting totally out of hand now.
Let him fight it out.
No, Dutch.
Let him go. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch this. I'm not even going to interfere in it. Let him go. Turn him loose. Turn Steve loose.
They're trying to break it up now in there. And here comes Ferris, the Dream Machine, Dundee. We got a whole ring full of it. So, Dutch Mantell, our guest commentator, is going in there. We're going to have to break away here as they are trying. Now it's gotten down to an individual brawl. Wave Country Championship Wrestling continues back in the ring in just a moment. Tuesday night, what did I tell you a little earlier? 8-man tag match, my friend. Kevin Sullivan, Wayne Ferris, the Nightmares with Hart at ringside. Jerry the King Lawler, Dutch Mantell, the Dream Machine, joined by Steve Kern. No time, no disqualification. Boy, I can't wait to see that.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of foolishness going on. You know, I'm not going to take up too much time because I don't talk much, and I don't like people that talk much. Right there in Louisville, we're going to come out fighting and kicking and scratching just like 4 big white dogs. Come in here, Dustin.
I've seen that fighting before.
Okay,
boy.
anytime you enter into a match like we've been in, you can expect injuries. And it's very unfortunate that Bill Dundee got hurt, and we needed a replacement, and we needed one bad because 3 guys can't fight 4 guys fairly. So we asked Steve Kern to step in and be our partner. I'm going to tell you one thing, First Family. We got a score to settle, and we're going to settle it one way or the other. Sullivan, you can't run forever, and I'm catching you sooner or later.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking for it. They got a great replacement in Steve Kern. Steve, looking for you to join that 8-man.
Well, I appreciate it, Lance. You know, this is going to be a tough match. I realize that there's a lot of pressure here and a lot of issues, but
Bad blood, too.
yeah, really, it's going to be plenty exciting, and I'm just hoping I'm going to be in there and help carry the load.
When I've seen of him, I believe he'll be right in there swinging
Just
away.
like that shirt, he can do it. I promise you that. You know, they like to use a pile driver, Lance. They pile drive Bill. He's hurt. He's going to be out of action for a little while. Well, let me tell you something. Two can play at that game, so I'm going to take it upon myself, and I know other fellows are going to do the same thing. We're going to just change this to a little pile driver match. And you know, there's somebody that I'd love to pile drive, Lance, and that's that little. I'd love to get my hands on that little Jimmy Hart. I want you to listen to this, Hart. I'm going to make you my target. I'm going to get out of the ring because I can't be disqualified. They can't stop the match. If I have to chase you all over the building, I'm going to catch you, and it may be out on the floor or it may be in the ring, but I'm going to look at that little pinched up face of yours, and I'm going to grab your head, stick it down between my legs, and I'm going to pile drive you right into that mat or into that concrete floor, and I'm going to leave you sticking up just like a post, boy.
Tuesday night, all of that is going to happen. Bewitching time is here. The brawl is over. We turn back into pumpkins for Dave Brown, Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
The announcers on this program